Hello. Um, Earlier I've been testing
A frigid output.
Xaihi's build actually because according
Contemplation.
to
Computation.
her
Utterance.
skills, first let's talk about this. Um, this treatment skill will increase per will, and it also gives arts amp, but it seems that it doesn't scale anything scale to anything, so this is just static. So casting the skill immediately gives 13% arts amp, but her ultimate have a base cryo arts amp, and the amp increases per intellect. So I've been testing a build for Shaihi, which is mainly two sets actually. First is this Pulsar Labs Disruptor Suit, which gives intellect and will and a little bit of arch intensity. And with the gloves, which is external Sharonite, which is intellect and will also, and it gives ultimate gain efficiency for 20%. What I have on Shaihi is external Sharonite Auxiliary Arm, which is will and intellect, because this is the best she has. I mean, it's one of the best choices for her, and since it also gives ultimate gain efficiency, so you put on two of these for her. So to test the buff, it's actually I actually built my Yvonne without actual items because she just crits a lot when she has her actual build, which is RC
This
Tyrannical
pair of hand
and
cannons feels just right.
this. The full
Noticed a few
set,
design
I have it
OFIs. Guess I'll just mod
fully
them into a
artifice.
pair of Yvonne specials.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, this one. This.
Can I apply a new layer of coating to my gear? This
This.
color scheme doesn't really match my hair.
This and this. She just crits a lot with this build, so I had to remove them to test the how much damage Shaihi
I
actually
offer
provides
today's
and
dialogue and
how
contemplation
Arts
to your
Amp
terminal
actually
in reverence.
affects combat. So let's go to the spreadsheet, I guess. So yeah, these are the values I have from my testing earlier. The orange set is the one with the higher intellect value compared to the green set, which has higher will values. Actually, the Pulsar Labs still have higher will value compared to the intellect, but as for the build side, I think the values are pretty close, which is a pretty good baseline. And from the data from the game, the actual attack is actually dependent on the set, but since Shaihi isn't actually is a support character, she doesn't really need too much attack to work with. And yeah, so the higher intellect value set has 2,464 attack, and the Sheer Knight, which has higher will values, will net you a higher attack because Xaihi's will value is her main stat compared to the intellect value, which gives lower attack increase. So actually, I also computed how much the stat values give depending on the set. So the what was it? The attack increase from the main stat is actually 0.5%, and also here you can see it's also 0.5%. As for the secondary attribute, it only nets 0.2%, which is not really that far, but as you can see, the actual attack is actually a little higher on the set with the higher will compared to the other one, which has higher intellect value compared to this one, which is just 272 compared to 323. So from my testing earlier, actually for the ultimate, it gives 19% cryo amp, and it also gives 0.024% amp increase based on intellect value. So this is the intellect value for the different builds, and for the total it's 26.75 for the higher intellect and 25.53 for the lower one. So, and the skill. For the skill, the base treatment for actually these are the values for level 9 skills, and so these, the base treatment, the base healing for the skill is 302, and it increases based on the will value. So the treatment is 302 plus 377 times 71%, 71 value, which is equal to 569.67. But there's also, since I have chivalric virtues on Xaihi, which gives 12% treatment efficiency, and the treatment boost from the will, which is 37.70%, the effective healing should be 784, but during my actual testing, the actual healing is 991, which is on the intellect build, and 1000 on the will build. And actually I found a little data, let's say. So the actual set, the value regarding the treatment bonus from the will stat, actually the treatment received bonus only applies to the actual character that has high will. It doesn't reflect on the healing on other characters. So when I was testing it with Yvonne earlier, the healing was just 804, I think, compared to this one. These are the values I got from when I was just testing Xaihi only on the team. And she was healing herself by 1000 with will build and 911 for the intellect build. Also, the combo skill has 360% damage multiplier, and the effective damage should be 8000, but due to the defenses and the arch resistance of the enemy, it goes down to 5800 for the intellect build. This is the damage without the ult, and this is the damage on the will build for without the ult. So when you activate the ult and you do the combo skill, the damage goes up to 7248, which is an increase of 25%, while on the will build it's 8929, and the difference is actually very minimal. So the difference is very minimal actually. It's just 1%. So I can say that the build on more intellect or the build on more will does not net that much of a value actually. So you're better off, I think you're better off building the will one, which keeps you alive better, I guess. And also there's also another stat actually on the intellect one. The intellect one has a lot of ultimate gain efficiency due to these sets, and the will one only has two equipments that actually give ultimate efficiency. So that may be another factor to this, but let's go with Yvonne. My testing with Yvonne. So yeah, these are the values I got when I was testing her earlier. This Yvonne, I removed all her equipments, so the data is pretty low compared to when she has her equipments, but I removed her equipments because she just keeps critting. I mean, her build just crits a lot. So yeah, these are the base values. These are without the ult, and this is the one with the ult. So the green set is actually for the will build, and the orange one is for the intelligence with more intelligence. So actually on the data, the actual increase is actually very minimal. So the what was it? When you compute them, so you subtract them from each other, the value you get, I mean the increase is just very minimal. But I can say that Arts Amp is actually very strong, especially on the elemental characters. So yeah. As for Xaihi, I mean, this one gives a total of 1% increase in damage, which is actually very negligible in my opinion. It's just 1%. I mean, this is the average for the increase, and this one is the average. Actually, it's all 48% on this data. So it's more consistent. But this one, as you can see, there are a few which goes up until 50% damage, which is pretty good, but 2% increase isn't really that a lot, to be honest. And but yeah, on Xaihi, her healing for other characters is the values is over here. So Xaihi healing Yvonne with her will build is actually just 804 compared to the where is it? This one. Her will build heals herself for 1000 compared to this one. She's only healing Yvonne for 804. And on the intellect build, the healing only goes up to 746, and which has a 6% difference, which isn't really that a lot actually. But yeah, the arts amp actually raises the value of the damage considerably compared to when you don't use arts amp. So yeah, these are Xaihi's equipments. So this one gives 20 arts intensity, and the gloves give her 20%, 20.5% ultimate gain efficiency, same with the other two, I guess. Oh no, this is 24, and this is also 24. But the other set is this one. It gives arts intensity.
Veritas is upheld by its own sanctity.
And where's the other one? This one. This one gives cryo and electric damage. So yeah, it's the ultimate gain efficiency is higher when you use the
Veritas is upheld by its
build
own
with the higher intellect. So yeah, the ultimate gain efficiency on this build is actually 69.8%, which I can say is actually pretty significant. So yeah, this gives 37.7% treatment received bonus just on Xaihi. It doesn't apply to Yvonne.
Behave, Frosty Bitey!
Yvonne only gets 10% compared to Xaihi.
I offer
which is
today's
a lot.
dialogue and contemplate.
But
Behave,
it's not really
Frosty
that far
Bitey!
from each other. So, yeah,
We're going for a walk with Endman.
these are the results from my testing earlier. I hope you learned a little bit.
I offer today's
did learn a little
dialogue
bit
and
from my testing.
contemplation to your terminal
And
in reverence.
thanks for watching, I guess. I'm gonna put my Xaihi back to her normal,
Veritas is upheld by its own sanctity.
and I guess I'm just gonna use this one. Yeah, I think that's better. Anyway, thanks for watching.